The Kayak Clinic is a new clinic at the Janeway. Kayak stands for Children and Youth in Alternate Care. So these are children who live in foster homes, group homes. They may be in kinship arrangements, so they live with a family member. And so we are a medical home for the children, and they can come to our clinic for wraparound health care.
Almost all of them have experienced adverse childhood experiences. People who had experienced adverse childhood experiences had a higher rate of mental health issues, addictions, failure to finish school, those sorts of things. But they also had things like a higher rate of cancer and heart disease. These children, these babies that we see, have been at war. Their bodies have been at war because they've been exposed to significant trauma. And we know that even in utero, even as a young baby, being exposed to domestic violence, not being in a nurturing womb or a nurturing home, can actually really have great impact on the brain of a child and on their neuroendocrine system. So what we try to do is help the people who are working with these children understand what developmental trauma disorder is and how we can all make a difference in these children's lives and how we can help retrain these pathways in the brain, because we know that with the right kinds of intervention, the brain can repair. We noticed that a lot of kids who lived in care or went into care really got lost in the system, and we felt that it was very needed to have their own medical home where they could come and have their needs addressed in sort of a one-stop place.
We have a team of healthcare professionals, so there are 2 physicians who work full-time, and then we have a couple of physicians who work part-time in the clinic. We have an occupational therapist, a speech-language pathologist, a dietitian, social workers.
Being an Indigenous social worker within CSSD helps me in the role to help others, especially within the clinic, if there's an Indigenous child or youth that is being followed by the team. It sometimes they can relate to me and helps with them engaging in services and supports that the clinic provides.
My role is kind of to look at a child's speech, language, or any type of communication difficulties that they have.
My role is to look at how children are functioning in their day-to-day activities and what things are impacting that so that they can become more successful.
So we typically work together to create common goals that are important with the family or the caregivers, and then we provide the intervention and target the difficulties that the child may have.
A big part of our role is to help the caregivers learn how to connect with the children, what activities are meaningful to the child, and help them get into a safe space where they can develop a relationship with whomever their caregiver might be.
Our children started here at very young ages, and every single time we walk through those doors, we are greeted by name with warm smiles. It feels less like a medical appointment and more like we're visiting family. The atmosphere here is very welcoming and warm, and you often forget that you're in a clinic. Our 4-year-old Kendra, specifically, she thrives in this space. We faced behavioral challenges with her early on, and through the experts here at the Kayak Clinic, we have learned about sensory regulation, and the understanding is everything. Since working here in the OT room with Tanya, with the help of Nancy, of course, Kendra has been thriving. She's really came out to be her own little self now, and she's happy and thriving, really thriving.
The equipment in the room allows us to provide structured movement to children that regulates their nervous system. So if they're in a heightened state, the deep pressure, the swinging, the heavy work settles their systems down. So hopefully they can engage in other activities.
One of the biggest things that the children in this clinic, I think, have taught us is that no matter what you've been through, or no matter the difficult situations that you've been through, that there is always hope. And when you donate to the Janeway, you're providing hope for these children and their families.
To our family, the Kayak Clinic means everything. Thank you, Newfoundland and Labrador, for supporting the Janeway.